On May 8, 2024, Carnegie Hall hosted the final performance of the Orchestra Now Carnegie Hall series this season. The concert spotlighted 4 European virtuoso violinists, who are also major composers in their countries, however less known in this capacity elsewhere today. Led by Leon Botstein, its founder and musical director, the Orchestra Now offered a program entitled Violinist as Composer, and included works by Grazyna Bacewicz, Joachim, Eugene Ysaye, and George Enescu. The program included the Carnegie Hall debut of award-winning Russian violinist Nikita Boriso-Glebsky, who joined the orchestra in the New York premiere of Eugene Ysaye's Violin Concerto in D minor and Joachim's Variations for Violin and Orchestra. The second half of the concert featured George Enescu's 3-movement Second Symphony, written by the composer between 1912 and 1914, at a time when he was also one of the most in-demand concert violinists in the world. The composer's own modesty and reluctance to self-promote, as well as the difficulty of his mature works for the performers, were all factors that added to his relative lack of popularity. The Second Symphony's destiny complicated matters even more. After the symphony's premiere in Bucharest at the Romanian Atheneum in 1915, George Enescu abandoned it unwillingly for the rest of his life. During the First World War, the only copy of Enescu's Second Symphony, along with other works, accompanied the Romanian government's gold reserves on a train to Moscow, where it vanished for years. After it was eventually returned to the composer, it remained unpublished until 1965, a decade after Enescu's death. The work was not performed again until the conductor Iosif Conta revived it in 1961. Although praised by Yehudi Menuhin as a masterpiece, Enescu described the Second Symphony as far from finished and declared that he intended a thorough revision of it. This, unfortunately, was never done. It is impossible to speak about Enescu without a reference to his extraordinary gifts as a composer, conductor, pianist, and violinist. His friend, revered Spanish cellist Pablo Casals, described Enescu as the greatest musical phenomenon since Mozart. George Enescu wrote about his artistic heritage in clear, simple words. Having a foundation in German education and living in Paris, which I adore, while being Romanian by birth, I am essentially international and insist on being perceived as such, despite the adoration I have for my native country and the many treasures of Romanian folklore. The Orchestra Now currently comprises 59 young musicians from 13 different countries across the globe, handpicked from the world's leading conservatories.
In Enescu's case, he was a conductor and a pianist as well, and probably among the most gifted, naturally gifted musicians in all of music history, rivaling Mozart. And there's nothing he couldn't do.